Can everybody hear me?
Okay.
Perfect. Well, as Rosie said, we've met at IML, and what my company does is we do a couple things. We're a full-service communications PR firm that specializes in municipalities. And I'm going to keep it short. I know you guys have a long meeting here tonight. But one of the things we started doing about 5 years ago is building smartphone apps for municipalities. And there's a couple different things you want to think about when you're thinking about potentially investing in an app versus further investment in your website or other venues of communication with the residents. Two things that really set apps apart is one, the ability to send push notifications. So say the fireworks in town are canceled because of rain. You can send a push notification out to anyone who has this app downloaded that will then show up right on their screen. So it's instantaneous communication with residents. The second feature, and I'll get a little bit more into this later when we pull up the slide, is service requests. Again, an example of this would be you're driving down the road, there's a tree down, the resident can pull over, snap a photo, add a GPS location, hit submit, and that notification then goes straight to Public Works. So you're eliminating your phone call there. Another thing that apps can do really well that really sets them apart from, again, a website is they can become a tool for your community at large. And I'll show you a couple different ways that they can do that. So if you want to look at the screen here, all of our graphics, everything on our apps is completely customizable. And that's one thing that I want you to keep in mind as we go through these slides. Everything will become customized to your community. Here you see just a couple different examples of our different launcher icons. These are some splash pages. And all of the features are also widely customizable. So again, as we go through these, keep in mind that just because you don't see it on the screen doesn't mean we can't do it, and it doesn't mean it would necessarily even be push direction. As you can see up there, that's our directional push notification. So on the left is an example of what that would look like when it pops up on the user's phone. On the right-hand side there, with our push notification service, it does something that some other companies are not able to do. And one of those things is called directional push notifications. So you can see there, the user has a list of items or entities that they can sign up to receive notifications from. So say you've got a resident that's only interested in library updates or updates from the school district. They can sign up for those updates and then not get bombarded by necessarily the park district or anything that they're not interested in. On this screen here on the left, you see an example of our service request form. And I'm actually going to pull that up here on my iPad and pass that around for you folks to take a closer look at. So you can go ahead and pass that around. And like I said, it's just a good way, most residents are going to go home, look up the number for Public Works, and remember to make that call. But they will pull out their smartphone, click, snap a photo, add a GPS location, and send that in. So it really streamlines that particular service. On the right-hand side here, you can see an example of our business directory. And that, again, is something that's a little bit unique to apps. We have the ability to put together a directory. A lot of communities partner with the Chamber of Commerce on this. And it becomes a tool for your community at large. And that's why Beecher's having a problem with people going outside of town, spending their money in different places as opposed to keeping it right there in Beecher. And this was a way that they could really advertise what the community had to offer. All of our apps have touch to capabilities. So all phone numbers are touch to dial, addresses are touch to map, emails are touch to email. On the left-hand side there, you can see an example of our touch to add calendar. This is Liz. This is my associate Liz. Traffic was terrible. So on the left-hand side, you can see there's an example of our touch to add calendar. Again, you can add multiple entities to this. I believe the one up there on the screen is Buffalo Grove. They pulled in 9 different units of local government into their app. So you can see all the schools, you can see the park district, the township. You can add whatever you would like to that list that you would like. And then users can go in, they can search by entity, they can search by month, they can click that item and then add it directly to their events calendar. Again, an aggregator of all your community events like that probably doesn't exist around the web. So this is something unique, and it requires no double entry for you folks. We do everything as automated as we possibly can so that this isn't an extra ton of work for anyone on your staff. Once it's up and built, it runs pretty much on its own. Here you can see we can just do a lot of different directories. You've got your elected officials directory there on the left, department directory on the right. Again, all of the information in these directories is customizable, touch to dial, touch to email. So you really give people a lot of accessibility that way. Social media is all integratable, and something a little bit different about the social media on our apps is that it opens within the app. You're never taken to Facebook's tool or Twitter's tool. It always opens right there within your own app, same with YouTube, so that the user then backs out of that module and they're reminded that, oh, we've got a newsfeed that we can look at, or we've got a calendar that we can go to. And it just encourages people to stay within your tool a little bit. And then this slide here is just a couple examples of what people can do to keep users coming back over and over again, because that's a question we get quite often. It's all right, we build this great tool, how do we get people to use it? You use changeable content. So you can see there on the right-hand side, the Village of Schiller Park did a coupon program where they partnered with local businesses. It was free for the business to participate, and users could go on and use those coupons. In the middle, you've got a special event. That is a module on the Beecher app, where just on a monthly or bi-weekly basis, they rotate that module out there. All of our apps are tablet compatible, so obviously iPads, Google tablets, we run on BlackBerry as well, even though BlackBerry's dying. And the only platform we don't run on right now is Windows Phone. If Windows phones ever take off, we will run on that, obviously. All of the apps are free to download. There's absolutely no advertising, so it makes it very easy for your users to use it. And that's pretty much the apps in a nutshell. Does anyone have any questions for us?
Yes, I do have. The cost of each entity. What would be the cost?
That's all included. So what we do is we contract with you, the community, and then whatever you want to do to split up the cost on your own back end, that's up to you. That's your prerogative. We do not charge you for including the library of the school district. So the way our cost breaks down, it's a $1,000 one-time setup fee. The only add-ons to that are if you include the YouTube module, that's a one-time $500 setup fee. If you include the business directory, that's $500 a year additionally. And then it's an ongoing service and maintenance charge of $249 a month. That includes every time a new operating system comes out, we stay ahead of that. The user never notices anything on the back end. Anytime you have a new trustee or a new department head, we change that information out for you free of charge. If you want to change out a module, we encourage you to do so. 6 months, 6 months into the app, get rid of your About button and add in the coupon button. You get a second hit at PR, you get a second hit at really getting people to download. So all of that is included in that maintenance.
Now, I think I heard you say that you do. Who does the updates for the software and things like that?
We do all of that. We handle that on our own back end. So this app is not dependent on your servers. It's not dependent on your website. We pull in via RSS feeds information like the news feed and the calendar modules. Things like that are automated. But any sort of directory is built innately on the back end of the app so that the user, say the user's driving down the road, they don't have Wi-Fi, they can still get into the directory. They can still get into those tools that they really need to have access to, even without, a signal, obviously. So
now you did mention the coupons.
Mm-hmm.
Would they, the businesses, I'm pretty sure we would have to go out and get those.
Correct.
Will we present that to you, or who actually does the download? That's you guys do that?
Yep. So anytime you do a coupon or change out a coupon, you would just send that to us in JPEG form, and we would upload that to the app for you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
So anything that you have as far as updating the calendar, anything like that, you just submit those to you electronically, and then you guys kind of structure how the app will go out.
Correct. Generally speaking, with the calendars, we do that as automated as possible. So as soon as you have a calendar on your website, those events would be automatically pulled in. So anytime you upload an event onto that calendar, it would hit the app within generally 15 minutes. It's that lag time. There's a contract. We can get that over to you. It's a yearly contract. You can cancel. Yep, annual contract. You can cancel with 30 days notice. What kind of changes are you thinking about? Like what sort of committee?
Like the public relations.
Right. In terms of, structuring that content, they absolutely could have all the say in that. We're the people that actually have to upload it into the back end. And we keep it like that just because there's a lot of things you can do back there that can obviously cause the app to go down. So we want to keep that responsibility on our shoulders, not put that on you. You do have access to the back end to send push notifications. So you'll be able to do all of that on your own. You don't have to go through us for that. But everything else, we kind of control that access to the back end in terms of coding and things like that.
As far as informational, that's one thing, I would simply ask that if we go through the public relations page, just like the website, just like anything on the Sauk, just because to maintain the same principles that we have in the other things, just so we make sure that the content that's going out to our residents is something that has been approved and that process will be the same.
And a lot of times, one of the big worries is from the IT department. They're like, wow, this is going to be a huge project for us. And honestly, most of the time, we work with someone like a communications committee or a trustee that spearheads it, and they funnel the information to us. IT generally doesn't have much to do with the process at all.
Yes, do data rates apply?
The data rates would apply to the user on, in terms of their normal usage. So if they're, using the internet when they're on the app, then yes, that would apply to them.
And then how would they get the download? Would it go, you would have something that you could...
They go up live in the iTunes or in Android Marketplace of Google Play, and they can go there and download them. We provide you links to those things that you can use to publicize. Not Amazon. I do not believe. I can double check on that. Google Play and iTunes. I believe are the only two. And
Is the app free?
the app is free. 100% free, no advertising. No pop-ups, nothing obnoxious like that. We're not making any money from your residents downloading your app or anything like that. It's all 100% free for them. So, nothing sneaky. Any other questions?
Statement that you made that the residents.
Can't hear you.
Did you make the statement that the residents, or did you elaborate on that when you said that if you see a tree down, that you could call Public Works directly?
So our sort of way of thinking about the service request form is, say you were driving down the road, there's a tree down. Most residents, anybody who has this tool downloaded can use it. It's not geographically bound. So say you've got a big event coming to town and you want to promote that through the app, you absolutely can do that. You can encourage anyone across the country to download this and they can use that tool. But the way I'm not sure, are you worried about spamming?
Does it push you directly to an email to the?
Yes.
To the call?
It sends an email to whoever you would designate the recipient to be. So.
If they click on the download tree, that's all you have to do is click on download tree one.
Mm-hmm.
They click on that link.
Yep.
They fill the information in, like the photo, hit submit, and go to whoever.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I guess that answers my question. I'm really asking, can anyone just, even if they see reported to Public Works or to the police department, so you're saying yes?
Yes.
So any resident that's driving around that's got the app could immediately notify them without going through public relations. They could just
Exactly.
directly talk to those departments on their own.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, we just something that would take over the alert we have now.
I don't think so. Some of those alerts are flyers or lengthy list information. This is, it can use in addition to all the other.
And that's the email form. So this would be people who would be, some people prefer the convenience of the e-blast and the pull-out flyers and things like that. Some people are going to prefer the fact that they can click on the app and it's right there on their phone. Everybody does on the phone, but it's right there on the
just pop up with like a text, then it can.
Correct. And you can always in that push notification say, hey, you know, this just came out, go here for more information.
Right.
But
It's
it's,
not made for long.
right,
Flyers and everything, it's just, like you said, a bullet point so quick, you know, don't forget about the meeting tonight, so it's all set.
correct.
There's an accident somewhere, to reroute traffic or something like that, something that would be kind of an important bit of information, fire numbers, great idea, you know, something that's really important that you want to get out as soon as possible. This is going to be a lot easier, a lot quicker than coming back, putting type of work stuff on the e-blast, things like that.
A lot of people don't have smartphones, a lot of people don't have computers, one don't have the other, so they each have their own purpose. This is a specific purpose. A lot of information in one space.
Any other questions?
So you'll get the contract reference to, and then, work with you. If any further questions, then we'll do some
That sounds good. I'm sorry I was late. I just had to go towards, you know, just the last couple of days. Okay. If you want to just, if it comes to me, then. Yeah. Yes. So you could just reply and then show me that. Sure. Absolutely. I'm going to leave this with you too. Okay. Okay. Kind of get a little idea of how easily it's on. Thank you very much. All right, well, yeah, I'll definitely get that to you. Okay? All right.
All right, item number 3, discussion of fire hydrant procedure. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Board. I would say about 3.5 years ago, we had applied for a grant to get the fire hydrants fixed, and now I think I just saw today that we did get some money, but there's been an ongoing concern from the residents. I know I've talked to a lot of about the fire hydrants, about them being out, and what can we do and what will we do to try to make that happen, and also about the B boxes. Now, the residents didn't talk about the B boxes. That's something that we had talked about ourselves at board meetings and in discussion. We talked to each other that we need to get the B boxes fixed so we can have the capability of turning on or off water as need be. I did ask, and I did talk to a couple of the department heads, the fire department, and also the public works, and asked them to come out today to give us a quick summary of what it would take. First of all, to let us know how many fire hydrants that are out. Second of all, B boxes, and give us a quick summary how much this would cost with labor to try to start doing this. The reason for that is I know that we have our water fund, and I would think that we would try to utilize that, especially for the B boxes. Even though the grant money is coming in, we could utilize that, and then we could, you know, at least get the B boxes and also the water fire hydrants that are really, really a concern. And I'm sure Kevin can explain, and I would like for both of these guys to come up front now, and they can explain more in detail what it would take, how much it would cost, and something that we need to put in place. And I want the board to kind of listen I know we don't have money for a lot of different things, but this is something that I think a lot of residents have been knocking on, asking, coming up here to the village hall, coming out there in the street, talking and asking about the fire hydrants. And so at least if we start something, if we get it going and have it on an ongoing premise, and as we get money, we can pay back the water fund, but in the meantime, this is something I think we should really as a board think about. Thank you. Kevin?
But before these guys talk, I'm going to get in here and talk about some of the stuff. This problem has been going on for longer than 3 years. This problem goes back prior to Roger's administration. So we're looking at something that goes back probably 12 to 15 years. We've had problems with fire hydrants. We've done some little bit of background. This has been a key point on this administration, and we worked very hard. One of the first things we did after being elected was putting together white pages, applying for grants, and now just a little over a year after being in office, we're starting to see the grant money come in. So we've already talked about $25,000 for fire hydrants, $50,000 for fire hydrants, speed boxes, and curbs. Of that money that we applied for, we've already received $18,000. So I can make it very clear. Of the $18,000, we've already purchased 7 fire hydrants, which should be coming in. So as the money comes in that we receive for these grants, we're putting it right back in. We're getting these, the tools, the equipment, and the parts that we need. So when taking office as acting mayor back in the end of November of 2012, we had well over, in advance of over 70 fire hydrants that were out of service. Somewhere closer between 70 and 90 fire hydrants that were out of service. As of today, we have approximately 61 fire hydrants that are out of service. We're right about 10% of fire hydrants that Sauk Village has right now that are out of service. Of the 61, just so everyone realizes that since taking office, that we have repaired or replaced 10 fire hydrants, and then we now have parts. We still have 3 more fire hydrants that are ready to go, and we also have parts because we're able to take parts off those fire hydrants that we replaced. We have enough parts to repair 6 more fire hydrants. Plus, we have an additional 7 fire hydrants coming in. Like I said, since taking office, we've already repaired 10 fire hydrants, and we're working on a plan to go together about where Kevin's group, as they can, will repair fire hydrants that need to be repaired and replaced throughout the week. And we've already approved overtime on Saturday to go in, and especially on the replacement of fire hydrants. We've already approved the overtime for Saturday on that. We already talked about we applied for grant money. There's more than just the $25,000 and $50,000 that we applied for. We applied for a $1.8 million loan, or a grant, not a loan, a grant through the state. We applied for $5.8 million through the state to fix all of our infrastructure, which includes roads, curbs, and also includes our pipes and stuff in the ground. So the governor, one of the first things we did was working with our engineering company, Robinson Engineering. We put together white pages for the governor. They've been on his desk, and we constantly keep them before him through our state representatives and through our lobbyist group. So every time he sees their face, the Sauk Village is reminded that with these white pages, the white pages included which streets need to be repaired, locations, photos, costs, everything was included in those white pages. So that was a complete breakdown, what we call shovel-ready projects. Some of the other things we've worked on since becoming mayor is working with Public Works and Fire Department, identifying fire hydrants that do not work. As we go through, if the fire department comes across one, if Public Works comes across one, the fire hydrants, the tops of them are painted white. That makes it so that the fire department knows that when they pull up, if there's a fire hydrant that's painted white, not to go to that one, they go to the next one. So, yes.
We're going to change that up a little bit, so some of these paint things, spray painted.
Okay.
We can't hear.
Right. So they're working on getting something that's more clear, in case anyone goes up there and spray paints or something. So again, that's something that we have put in place. The other thing now is all the engines now have new wrenches. We went from the little small ones that the fire department was using to the large ones, the same ones that the public works department is using. We also went through engineering, and we've got our water atlas is now complete. So we have the water atlas that points out every single fire plug that we have throughout the village, and we're working with 2009, if I remember right. Is that right, Chief? And with every single fire, there's 2 tankers that are dispatched to Sauk Village. You know, one automatically goes to the fire, which has about 3,000 gallons of water, and the second one comes into Sauk Village and sits at the fire station and takes it from the fire. So the fire chief is working closely with all of our other communities. So I just want to make sure we make it clear that there is a lot of things in the works. There's a lot of things that we're working on. And again, this is not something someone may think that it's only within the last couple of years we've had problems with fire hydrants. It's not true. Sauk Village has had problems with fire hydrants for years. And we're not the only community. We've reached out to some of the other communities to find out some of the problems they're having. And it would very much surprise you. We're at currently right about 10% on fire hydrants that are not working right now. When taking office, Chief, what were we at? We're about 15, 16%? About 17% of fire hydrants when I took office were not working here in Sauk Village. So our goal is to get that down. You know, a number I could probably live with, actually I think we could probably live with would be 5%, but in reality we want 0%. We want every single fire hydrant working. So every year we continue to work to get that number down. Some of the other communities, they're way over the percentage of fire hydrants that are not working in our community. This is an issue that we're seeing statewide. So I just want to make sure that the residents know that we've got 2 great department heads sitting here, and they've worked great with this administration. I appreciate all the work that you guys done. Number 1, to identify. Number 2, to come up with a cost, prioritize, and start repairing as needed. So, Kevin, if you want to...
Just a second, man. Just 1 second. I understand everything. First of all, I'd like to apologize to you 2 guys for having you come. I did not know that.
You didn't have to come, I did. Because
Okay.
I asked for
Mr. Mayor, I'm not trying to debate. I'm just making a statement. That's all I'm doing. I'm not here to go back and forth. I'm just making a statement. I had asked them also prior to talking to you, and I asked the clerk to put this on the agenda last week for a reason so they could come and say basically what you said. Had I known that you were going to do that, sir, I never would have asked them to take their time out of their schedule and to come out here and explain everything that you just got to explain. Yes, this has been an ongoing, but to explain it now, everything that you just stated was, I thought the chief and the public works director were going to basically bring out. But if you already had this taken care of, then when I put this on the agenda, you could have told me, trustee, this is what it is, I got this, because it seems like everything that I talked about, you stated that, okay, this is how much we're going to spend. I mean, these are the things that I asked them to give me, how much it was going to cost, and we can look for other means to fund this. But now it's fine, I appreciate you guys coming out, but basically what you're going to basically say is everything the mayor just got to stating. And that's what I wanted the residents to hear. But that was the reason why I asked to put this on the agenda, the reason so we could, because people have asking questions. And if this was already prepared, Mayor, then we should have talked about this ahead of time before I wasted these guys' time for coming out, because that's basically I wanted the fire department to let the people know that what's going on in public works, to also let them know that that they're working on this and that, but I didn't have no idea that you were going to give the report that I was going to ask for them. But again, thank you very much.
Which is a very good point, because if you would have came to talk to me, we could have known all this, but you did not. You went to the village clerk and asked for it to be put on the agenda.
Yes, I did. I asked for it to be put on the agenda because I thought it was something that we needed to bring up, but at that time was last week. You could have called and said, trustee, I've already done this, I've done that, and I've got a report compiled already, I'm ready to go with this, and we didn't have to do this, we could just talk and had a discussion instead of saying discussion of fire hydrants, trustee Burgess. I didn't give a report, you did, so I was just bringing it, and I just wanted them to bring it up, but that's okay, thank you.
That's fine. How about Chief, you want to start? You have anything you want to add?
One of the things.
You better use your mic for you to yell at.
One of the things that's studied, we had a commitment there was commitment on our side. There wasn't on this side. We've got vendors out there now, if we want to deal with them, we take the check in hand. Is that our fault? It's not the village either. We've got to have a commitment. In order to hydrants, that's just one part of the commitment. The second one, the board has got to make a commitment to put the people out there to do the job. Other than that, we're just sitting there talking around.
And so the board knows, maybe I can explain about how we're going to get these fire hydrants changed, what we talked about throughout the week and then on the weekends. If you can just let the board know.
Excuse me. Basically, what we'll try to do, and our goal is to do, is that we'll have multiple hydrants in the day dug through our business day, and then we'll pick a weekend day to install those hydrants. So it'll cost a little bit more time, and it'll also give us more opportunity throughout the day to do a dig and more of our general work operations. So this will speed the whole process along. It'll give us an extra day of the week to do work.
Kevin, I do have a question. I think it was, and Mayor, you can attest to this also, because I did at that time call you when I sat in your office and asked about having the detail on Saturdays to fix the broken lights that are doing in the village. And I sat in Kevin's office and asked him, and correct me if I'm wrong, how much it would cost and what would it entail to get a crew out here and how long would they have to do to get these lights on, because the people in the village are complaining that their lights in front of their homes are out. You gave me a figure, you gave me a time frame. I called you, Mayor, and asked you, would you okay the overtime? Is that correct? Okay. And you did. So now we're doing that, and then we're doing this. Which one are we going to make more of a emergency or more of a priority? Which one are we going to make more of a priority? The lights at this time or the fire?
I'd say hydrants are priority, and what we try to do with the street lights, the overtime we did spend, we worked on a couple different scenarios. We did fix one of them, we partially fixed another one. We got another one throughout the week. We took care of another section of the one up in Deer Creek. We just have one more section we have to rent or borrow a trencher to retrench the line in. So that'll be done, and then it's a matter of.
No, I'm not talking about just Deer Creek, I'm talking about throughout.
I understand, but there's step by step. I told you there was priorities in electrical projects. The street lighting day to day, we can go to a street light, we change a bulb, and put us out, it takes no more than an hour.
Okay.
Whereas we're taking a fault locate and digging the ground out to find that fault underground, that may take 4 hours to find the fault, and then you have to dig and do the repairs, whatever required. Two of those locations, we had to take the poles down in order to get to the wires in the pole. Normally, we don't ever have to do that. So it's going to be priority fire hydrants, but we're also going to fit in to our week and through our scheduling to make sure that we put those in those priorities too. So they might be, one crew might be sitting there to dig the hydrant, take 3 guys to install, 4 guys to install. I might have 2 guys fixing the wire. So we still use those 5 to 6 guys max on that job. Sometimes we'll split up and they'll shift back over for the finalization of the day.
Okay, the reason why I said because as of today, a resident came and Trustee Myers was right there when he asked about getting lights fixed on his street, and I told him exactly that we had a crew out there on the weekends doing the lights. So he did come and talk to us today, and I just happened to be right there, and Trustee Myers was there. He asked when can he expect, and I kind of gave him the answer that we do have a crew out there on the weekends, and I don't know how the priority is in your particular block or your particular situation, but they're all going to be taken care of. And so that's why I was just asking that.
Yeah, we wouldn't do it day-to-day street.
No, right, on the weekend.
We would do the weekends.
That's what I told
the
them.
faults. I mean, if we're going to do a bulb, I can get somebody done in a day. I mean, we could probably get a good 10 light fixtures in one day, fixed through just bulbs. One of those jobs might take that whole shift to do it because of what's involved. So after hours, we'll definitely do the harder jobs because those are the ones that are taking us the longest amount of time. And with the priority right now, it's going to take at least 2 weeks for these hydrants to come in. We do have hydrants on that we can work on now, but that'll be the 2 weeks that we can utilize to do some of the other electrical work that we're going to get off the plate. Yours is the 3rd or the 2nd of the 3rd. It's going to be done, and we have one small fault on 219, and that should be the fault problems. And then the street lights are just day to day. We do those when we go out.
Now with the fire hydrants, and Mayor, I'm asking you with the fire hydrants, after we exhaust this money, are we going to stop and wait until other money comes, or are we going to continue to move forward with the fire hydrants and the B boxes? I mean, I understand this money was for both. Are we going to wait until we get more money, or are we going to keep moving forward and replacing B boxes and purchasing them after we put them in, or in the fire hydrants also?
No, I think you bring a good point, because the goal is to continue moving forward. When it comes to doing this, again, we just purchased 7, right? We just purchased 7 of those, so let's go ahead and get those moved, put in the ground. Probably when we get down to like we're currently at, like the last 2 or 3, hopefully we'll have additional grant money coming in. We'll be able to take that money, go out and buy and purchase more, so that we constantly have fire hydrants and stuff coming in. But the number that we were looking at was about $100 and some $1,000 to replace the 61.
158 is for just buying hydrants up.
150.
That's just for buying.
That's just for
Right.
And if you want to look at it with the overtime or the
Right.
splitting them in, you probably almost say it's right about another $150.
What is it per hydrant? I mean, maybe.
With everything that we order on with the 5-inch storage, now that we're putting on for everything for the fire department, they're roughly $2,610 with a new valve.
Okay, that's per hydrant. Okay.
That's not, I forgot.
This is what I asked you for, and I see why.
Okay. And for B boxes, we're just going to buy a bunch of the supplies for the amount that we have contracted for the grant, which is roughly around 20 repairs. We're just going to buy it outright. Shouldn't be that much.
Okay, this is what I asked for, but I see now what happened. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. Because what I'm saying is, once we exhaust this $18,000, I would hate to stop if we're going. Quite naturally, I know weather's going to be permitted. I understand that in the wintertime, but when we start back up and knowing how grant money doesn't come in as you want it to come in, what would be our alternative means to continue to keep doing this, because this is a safety concern of the residents. And then also with the B boxes is something that we need to take care of, because it's something that we can have the control of the water for each and every household. So that was the reason for this, so we can, as a board, come together and try to figure out alternative means of financing once this money has been exhausted, and that's what the reason for. Thank you.
Again, we have to make sure that everyone realizes that we're constantly putting stuff before the governor's office. We're constantly putting stuff before state representatives. And even though we're thankful for the $25,000 and $50,000 grants, of the $75,000 total, we've already received $18,000. But we constantly, in fact, last week before last, talked to State Representative O.J. Sims when he was here, talking about, again, we still have stuff that needs to be done. We still need fire hydrants, things like that. So we talked about infrastructure, we talked about streets, and again, it's constantly staying in front of our state reps, it's constantly staying in front of our governor. We're providing all the information to our lobbyists on Springfield, so they're on there in front of them all the time too. So again, we're seeing some great things happen, especially with the governor just signing the 4 things that came to Sauk Village. It's starting to work. We're starting to see stuff, but we'll continue staying in front of them. Yes, sure.
If we get a commitment on these, money's coming in, make sure that they stay.
Oh, they are. The grants are spelled directly out what they can be spent for, so that's what we're using it for. That's why when we got the $18,000, we went ahead and moved directly into purchasing those fire hydrants. So we know for sure that $25,000 was for the fire hydrants, $50,000 was for B boxes, curbs, and fire hydrants. So the $50,000 is a little bit more flexible, but that first $25,000 was strictly for fire hydrants. And in fact, when we sent out stuff to the governor, we purchased everything there. Right.
Can't hear you.
Right. No, but I mean, when it comes to anything, Mohan is working very close, watching the grant money come in. We're making sure it goes directly to the grant, and it doesn't get put into a general hole. You know, everyone's worried about the general fund hole. We're making sure that money is spent exactly what it's for. That's why, you know, over on Jeffrey, when we get that $23,000, we get $23,000 from Enbridge, we move directly into getting those streets repaired and getting that paid. When it comes to the grant money coming in for fire hydrants, as soon as it came in, we said order those fire hydrants right away. So that money is getting spent for whatever it's coming in for. And then I stand Mohan assures me that's what we're doing. So,
We gotta stay on top of it, because I already did all the paperwork for the general on our last one.
all right.
Just so you know, though, I do have the copies, and I will continue to. Of the $50,000 that we were trying to get from the state, we got $12,500. And of the $25,000 that we got for the fire hydrants, we got $6,250. So, you know, I'm hoping that we're going to get more money, but that's what we got of the $75,000. $18,000 came in. So, you know, are we a high priority right now with the state? I don't know. Is this a high priority? It should be. But what I wanted to find out, what can we do as a village to kind of subsidize this until we get that? In the meantime, the people of the village can feel, you know, a little safer that they're seeing that their fire hydrants are being replaced even though. And that's something that I wouldn't have a problem with using the water fund money for. Because I think that's what it should be used for, is something like that. And that's what this whole thing was all about.
Anything else? All right, thanks, I'll get you on that. Trustee.
So we just gave the superintendent of public works the authority to keep moving forward, working on Saturdays and repairing the hydrants. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay.
And like you said, they're doing a lot of work on Saturdays. They do with the lights, you know, the fire hydrants, there's other things that we're doing, things that take up a lot of time, where they get those done on Saturday, where they're trying to get a lot of little projects done throughout the week. So,
Kevin, could you keep us updated on if you get anything done this weekend or coming up weekend at 1, 2, 3, 4, what? Keep us updated. Thank you.
all right. Item number 4, intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Sauk Village, Cook County, Illinois, County of Cook, Illinois, for provision of environmental health inspectional services for the period of December 1st, 2014 through November 30th, 2015. This is our health department inspections. I wish I had that packet, but trustee.
I know we do this every year, but I checked back in my notes, and not too long ago, we just signed a contract for them to do some of our inspection. I thought the contract was for year to year, and it was just when we went through the last inspection procedure. Has that changed? Is it going to do it 6 months, or is it, how do we do that?
This one's for a year.
And I know that here can possibly be up. When we just went out there and started doing business inspection, that's what we did.
You sure it's time's not just one faster for you?
Yeah. Tell me about it. I know it's the same contract. He just said, I thought we signed one about 6, 7 months ago. Did they increase their fee?
It doesn't matter if any changes, it's just that the one that you're coming in, it expires before December 1st.
And how much?
This being done ahead of time.
How much is that per inspection?
60.
65, whatever it is.
For some reason, I think it's 60 because we included it into our inspections and into our business licenses.
Yeah, we
So the
talked
first
about
one-
that, but
First one's already paid.
we would wait now out and then out.
$100 page straight. Bottom page straight, $100.
Sherry, you have to tell, ask Sherry, what you guys are currently paying with this agreement is the one that expires, this one that expires November 3rd.
So are we, Mr. Mayor, we're going to go ahead and incorporate this fee now to the county? We're going to spread that across the board to all the businesses that require the health inspection.
We'll have to.
Yes, so,
Because I think the current ordinance is what, $60? For some reason, 60 cents.
that's not going to make any study now. Okay.
Let's go back and look at those business licenses again.
So I'll put that on the agenda. This doesn't take place until December 1st.
Correct.
So we have time to do an amendment to the,
Send it to the ordinance review committee. we'll look for you to come back to the board with recommendations. Well, I don't know if we need to wait on this because what they're gonna look at is the current licenses. Do we need to increase those to make up for this?
All we're dealing with now is the agreement with the Cook County Health Department to do our inspection.
Yes.
I don't see it.
I would look for it to be approved next year, isn't it? This is an agreement so they can continue coming in and doing our inspections of our businesses.
Well, my question would be, okay, we approve this, but then don't you think we need to let the businesses know that we're getting ready to raise their rate?
We're not, county is.
Okay, but, I mean, we're passing it on. I mean, they're getting ready to raise their rate, don't you think we need to let them know that?
Well, it will be talked about during the committee meeting, so, I mean, whatever the county charges us,
Right.
we pass off to businesses.
But if you charge them $60 now, then they come out, because they're charged,
$100.
yeah, they charge us and we have to charge them.
So it's shy of $40.
So we need to let them know, you know, I mean, don't you think we need to let them know before they pass this, or you want to pass it before you let them know? That was my question.
The question is, if you don't pass it, they won't come out and do our inspections.
Right.
Oh, they're going to do it. This is going to, I mean, they're going to do it, but that's as of December 1st. I'm talking about right now. Right now, I don't know what it is right now. You said it's $60. They came out today. Would it be $60?
Well, if we still in the contract, if they're under contract, we just spell it out $60, we're paying $60. I think the county will come back after this for additional.
After December 1st. So right now it would be $60. Okay,
That's
so
per our agreement.
that's per our agreement. That's what I'm saying. We should, I mean, I don't know if there's a rush, if there is, you know, but I was just thinking that we should send them out a letter to let them know as of December 1st
Wow.
that we will be
I have
charging
no
more
problem
because
with
the
that.
county went up.
We're gonna have Sherry do that to
Well,
all the business.
You can't send a letter out until you bring the ordinances for the licenses and increase it. Because it's by ordinance. Right. So, and it has to pass by the board before you send a letter out, and then you let them know that according to the contract with Cook County, that the rates have increased.
Okay, thank you.
So we'd like to have this on the agenda for next week to pass the agreement with Cook County to continue doing our inspections. You're with us. All right. Item number 5, Housing Authority Commissioner Holcomb. It's not a-
The first thing that was on the agenda was, IRID, and this was the one where I had contacted IEPA, at the Millennium Reserve. They had given us a packet, a total of $50,000 grant through IEPA for illegal dumping. I contacted IEPA, and I had a return call from Alan Justice, who is the director of the program, and he sent me this PowerPoint that I printed out for everybody, pretty much explains the program so you get an understanding. It's based on not 50,000 for the whole project, per project. And it can be anywhere as small as 2 or 3 projects, up to 25 projects at a time. And all we put in here, we put in basically a cover letter that could go out. We put in this, I think, is something that we could definitely use. It's an ongoing project, it has no time limit. It's scheduled to, as part of the new living project, to go through 2019 and not change between now and 2019. So this could be used again in June. It can be used for burnout areas, destroyed houses, but SWAT's been quite busy and doing a fantastic job, I would like to say.
You brought that up, and just kind of, some of the residents don't understand what SWAT may mean. 2 weeks ago, I met with a representative from the Cook County Sheriff's Office. Cook County Sheriff's Office has two programs. One's called SWAT. The other one is the Neighborhood Revitalization Program. SWAP has come in. If you drive around town, you'll see they took care of the old hometown murals. They cleaned up all around that. They cleaned up behind Old Consumers. Working down through there, they cleaned up a little bit behind where Tony's is. They've also looked at a couple houses that are burned down houses. They went through, they cleaned those up. They got all the furniture and all the debris and what people have been using for a dump site. They got those areas cleaned up. That was what we used through SWAT. We also looked at the Lincoln Lansing drainage ditch. Of course, when I first went to them about Lincoln Lansing drainage ditch, because it is a separate taxing body, I had to give them the okay to contact Lincoln Lansing drainage ditch. So what we did is we showed them starting behind Fairway, working your way all the way through the entire village. And part of that is cutting down trees, mowing the grass, picking up the garbage. We got behind Fairway, and there was everything from furniture to shopping carts, all kinds of stuff through there. So their job, again, it costs nothing to the village, so nothing to the residents. So they're coming through now the neighborhood program. We've already given them 2 houses that have burnt down. They are going to be working with the county and the state to get those properties. They're going to come in and they're going to demolish those houses. And some of these have been eyesores for some time. One of the houses we looked at was over on 215th Street, and the other house was over on 221st, between Shirley and Paxton, 222nd, between Shirley and Paxton. That house has been burnt down for quite some time. So now we're working with the county to go in there and demolish these houses. And what will end up happening is they will revert those properties to the village. So, didn't pay too much of your time.
No, one of the things I want to people have a misunderstanding on is the SWAT program. They basically, years ago, touched that over, they violated some of the laws, how they work off their parts. But revitalization program, what people need to understand is whatever the revitalization program is a training program where they use inmates to do the work, but all the materials and all the labor costs come from the village. And if I'm not mistaken, that's why we elected to go with SWAT more so, because Tom Guard actually would prefer people to use SWAT first. SWAP.
I don't remember what it stands for. But it's pretty much people who are on some type of community service. And they're like on community service. The other thing too is we talked to them. Yeah. But the other thing we talked to them about is, you have all type of people who are community service. You may have lawyers, you may have carpenters, you may have regular labor. So one thing we sat down and talked to them about, if you have some of these skilled workers, depending on how long they do community service, we'd also like to use them in our community service, our community center, where we can do some type of apprentice program, where we can do some type of training with our youth. So they said they've never been approached that way before, and they liked it. So the sheriff I talked to, he's going to take it back to Tom Barrett and bring it to him, because he said they'd never even ever thought about something like that. So because you think about it, you have an attorney out there picking up garbage. I guess it doesn't hurt them, get their hands dirty. Or you have a carpenter out there, just think what they could do by teaching the kids how to make a napkin holder or something like that. Something that it doesn't cost us a lot. They bring their own tools, they teach the kids how to do it. something they can take home with them, and they can tell their parents, they can tell their grandparents, their relatives, so that I made this, you know, so, we're gonna see where that program's gonna go, hopefully, we'll see something happen there.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda is a hot topic. Late last year, we entered an agreement with IDOT for a $75,000 grant for programs within the village. When we first applied, it did ask for, it was a reimbursement program, but at the beginning, we explained the financial situation of the village, and they did they looked at audits and everything, and they said the first drawdown, we wouldn't have to have the funding up front. Partway through it, we got the state comptroller turned them down and said, no, it will be reimbursement only, at which time I brought it to the mayor's attention, and we ceased the cutting program for basically 10 days, at which time the village did loan the housing commission money to pay the people up front. Subsequently, since then, we've re-established, and I've been keeping all the trustees and everybody in the loop. IDA has never, ever done a program like this before, and they themselves admit that it is way beyond the scope of what they thought it was going to be from the beginning. Just to give an example, these are the two extremes from the properties that we've started this year. The one on this side is the least we had to do to a property, and this is the most. And as you can see, it had a long range. The report requirements have changed as of this morning 12 times. We have continuously turned in reports. This is one of the reports, and this one here is 869 pages long. When we submitted it, we submitted pictures to them. They requested that we label these pictures by the address and the different prospects on the property, which we did. As of 10 o'clock this morning, they changed how they want the pictures to look. Now, I'll look for those to the end. Now they want before and after shot, and they want the address printed in it. They said looking at it, they couldn't tell the difference between cut and uncut, which I found quite amazing. I asked the person that called me this morning if they could tell their laws. Subsequently, we started to readdress this issue and start labeling them the way they want. What you need to understand is there's 750 pictures that have to be labeled. But I'm going to ask Village Clerk Williams to explain a conversation. I was in a meeting, so I couldn't take a call, and Debbie was gracious enough to take a call for me, and I let her explain. I put it on you.
Okay. I spoke with Russ Ryan today from the South Suburban Land Bank, who told me he spoke with Nikki McCory, who works with IDA. And they said that, first of all, they had to say that IDA has limited staff. They're a little bit overwhelmed by this program, but most importantly, that Sauk Village and Richmond Park are the two communities that have just gone above and beyond and really done a fantastic amount of properties, and they weren't ready for this much work to be turned in from one they spent. So Sauk Village and Richmond Park are both having the same problem. Some of the other communities that have smaller projects going, it's easier for them to do the reports that Gary's doing. Their reports are probably a few pages, where Gary's are several hundred pages, which great job, Housing Commission, for taking time to do that, because even though they're not submitted in the proper format, according to item, they're looking for a specific format. And like Gary said, even as of this morning, they changed the format again. So I totally believe that the Housing Commission has done everything they've been asked to do in the fashion that they thought it should be turned in. However, in saying all of that, Gary is continually trying to reach out to us, Ryan and the IDA, to find out when their this money is going to be coming. As late as today, this morning, we get another phone call. And at 4 o'clock today, just a few hours before the meeting, Russ Ryan reached out to whoever would call, and I got the message and I called. And this is what he told me. He said he's happy to announce that both Sauk Village and Richland Park have been approved based on the applications that they have submitted up until that point in the fashion that it was submitted. However, any work that was done, and I don't know what day was the last time we submitted to them, any work that was done from that day forward must be turned in the fashion that they would prefer. So that being said, the majority of everything that you've applied for up until this date has been approved. Now, let's not get too excited, because when I asked if there's a timeline for when the money would be received, of course, they said they had no indication. People who had smaller programs, just a few pages, that were approved immediately because it wasn't such a large scale as Richland Park and Sauk Village, those people still have not received their money. So it's a double-edged sword here, okay? You've been approved based on what you submitted, but is there money coming anytime soon? The answer to that is no. Nobody has received any money, regardless of the size of the project. It's just that your project is so magnanimous, and so is Richland Park. But the good news is, it's been approved.
Just so the board members and residents know, there's 50, how many communities? 53?
53, well, there's 53 different communities, but the land bank comprises 5, which is only one of those 53, but there's actually 5 communities. One of the other things, when they called me this afternoon, they said that they actually invited Mayor Reinhold and my group to sit in with them and actually develop the program for the next go around. The only thing they found in error at all was the pictures. And I was told as late as this afternoon after Debbie called me and then I got a hold of Russell then. There's 18 communities out there that use the money solely to tear down properties. And in the original IDOT thing, it didn't call for grass cutting to have pictures. It only called for destruction and construction to have pictures. Halfway through the program, they told us quit sending them pictures. Okay. 18 communities submitted and tore down properties. In those properties that they tore down, IDA went back to them today and said, okay, here's the pictures before, here's the pictures after. Where's each step in between the pictures for that? So it goes back to that they don't know what they're doing. And it's not really their fault in the respects that no community has ever attempted, or state agencies attempted to run a scale of it. And it's really ironic because if David will remember last November, they were originally talking about doing it with 250 communities. So, as of late, the money that will be recovered is that first that was submitted July 1st, that was for payment August. The reason they're having to change around and do their itinerary different is the next drawdown, which they've changed to reporting time instead of actual drawdown, is November 6th. And by state law, they have to have that money. You have to disperse the first drawdown before you can even ask for the second drawdown. And they were given no leeway from the schedule that I emailed everybody. They have to stick to that schedule. So I'm meeting with them later this week. They sent me these examples of how they like them. And then we'll have the next drawdown is due in 4 weeks. So we will have that done. We have this part of it done. All we have left is the pictures. They've already pre-built our reports and they approved the reports. So they want the pictures. Anyways, this next drawdown, this money would be inclusive into that. And, I've been told this 20 times before, that once the drawdown is submitted, that the money turn around and be right away. The drawdown that has been approved now actually has the monies to cover this, and that they've only got 4 weeks before the next drawdown, so I feel that the monies will be here within the next. From 9, actually, from 7, I cut off a piece of it, it's actually from 6:27 to 9:30. There was 937 times, 122 logs were cut, 937 times. And the total draw is the public works working after hours on the project. The employees of the public works, their portion of it came to $10,655. The resident cutters that we have, and you need to keep in mind that the resident cutters and the public works cutters combined is only 20 cutters. Okay? And the resident cutters, that in that same time frame, it came to $12,135 for a grand total of $22,790.
Is that the latest report that they approved up until September 30th? So this is what they approved.
This, 22,790 plus the 7660.
So anything after September 30th, you're going to do it before that.
Gary, am I understanding that nobody on this list has received anything from the county? No one?
No.
No, they haven't, or that's not right? No, they haven't received any money at
No
all?
one has received a penny.
Okay.
There's another misconception in here that no municipality can use the grant money for administrative uses at all, so all paperwork and everything we've provided. What I found ironic though is the people who do the audit are paid by grant. And I always thought, well, we can't get paid, we should be.
Is that part of the grant requirement that's spelled out that it cannot be used for it? And we should mention it to our...
What goes to municipalities cannot be used for any administrative cost whatsoever. I can't buy a paper clip with a penny of that money. And that money, that's why the total audit is 1,177 pages long. The current one that we're submitting is 3,105 pages so far. That's not counting pictures.
So how much that money was paid to the auditors, you know, off the top of your head?
Pardon?
How much that money was paid to the auditors? You said they were paid by money.
How much of that money was paid to the auditors that you referred to?
They have, because of the administrators of the whole program, the grant says they can be paid, but they're quite specific that the municipalities cannot draw any administrative funds out of that. It's, like I said, it's a new program, they never knew what they were doing, and the comptroller approved for items administrative. They actually, as Debbie pointed out, had a minimal crew, they actually had to bring on more people, and they were approved to pay for out of funding for that.
The auditors that you're referring to don't come out of the Sauk villages money, it comes out of the item.
They come out of items, it comes out of the.
So-
a lot.
We haven't violated the contract yet.
No,
Okay. That's what I'm asking.
no. They're the ones that have made the only changes to the program.
There, you're speaking of the county,
Well, actually, the state.
the state. Okay. So know every day you gotta be hit by these people where my money at.
Which I think anyway.
I don't need it. I don't need it. Especially, it says here that the public work people cut yards 6 times. And if they cut this down here on the bottom, if the residents that we hired to cut grass just cut it once a week or once every 2 weeks, I would be kind of upset too.
What a lot of people don't understand is the residents that came onto the program in good faith knew up front that it would be not before August 15th, that they would be paid any amount of funds. When the state comptroller changed it in midstream, that's when I approached the mayor, and we paid them up to then, and then until they gave us specifics on how it would be drawn down. That's when I started emailing copies and keep everybody in the loop, so that any talks I had with Ida and any talks I had with Russ Wright, everybody would be on the same page. But all these covers, and I had hats off to all these covers, because they paid for their own gas, their own equipment, everything came out of their own pockets. Wear and tear more and all the sweat and blood they put into this program. And for those 20 cutters, including the public works guys, to cut over 900 lawns, all I have to say is job well done. Now this 900 lawns is only current. Before that, they also cut 360 other lawns. So they're well into the 1,400 range for cutting lawns.
And they never got paid for that either.
No.
We need to look at that.
I've been waiting for a firewall any day, okay?
We got to check into that. And you mentioned this to our attorneys or anything?
The state representatives have been pushing on LG Simmons and Marcus Evans and Anthony DeLuca all went down there to bat for us because it affects all their areas. Anthony DeLuca happens to have I think it's 9 or 10 communities that are under his umbrella.
They went down there personally and they sent letters asking them to release them.
They went to the governor for it.
Right.
Wow.
And but the program stopped now, right?
It ended at 9:30.
Okay. So we won't see any more increase in
This is it for this year.
Well, they did say, Gary, one thing I think I forgot to mention in the report, they did say if there's any money left over, it sounds like.
Oh, yeah.
that
Any money that's left over, we gotta come up with a product of either construction, it could be, and I would suggest, that we put towards, one of the broke out homes or
So
something.
these-
Because in the end,
There's a lot of projects we do.
Yeah.
It's like endless.
The paperwork, there's less paperwork, less pictures, and they suggested that's what develops with loan issues.
yeah, they said there was none, and they even told us, there's no problem with the paperwork, it's the pictures.
Gary, can you
And they
get,
didn't want it in the first place.
can you get all the trustees the total amount of everybody from the first time to this time here, a total amount,
Yeah.
this one here is just for this one? Could you get us the copy of the total?
Yes.
Trustee Burns?
I have a couple of questions. Gary, first of all, the village public works, I see that, did they use village equipment to cut that grass? They used, this was their own personal equipment? That's good.
Kevin actually went out and bought a zero turn.
Okay. Okay.
Just before you go there, the village, we only use total for this whole year out of the and we have to use it up by the end of the year. The $75,000 grant, we used 30,450. So the rest would actually,
That's what I came up with too. That's what I came up with also.
yeah. So if you figure,
So yeah, another 40,000, no less than 40,000.
you got $44,550 you can use. And this goes to what you were saying, Barry, that can actually be used. It doesn't have to be destruction. If you look at the master form, it can also be used. We have to have the lawyers check, but it has 4 fire hydrants and stuff. That would be an additional 44,000.
They take more money first.
That's okay. My second question was, you remember way back last year, you brought this to the board, and I think I asked the question, what's the cost, and could we see the agreement? And you said that, this doesn't have anything to do with the village. The village wouldn't be liable for anything. Had I known then that it was a reimbursement contract, I probably would have had something to say at the time that we would, because reimbursement means that we pay first and then we wait. I know that the residents that did the cutting and anyone that was involved into that project probably was told that. But had I known that, I probably would have threw up a red flag to say, okay, well, and knowing grants, and I know how grants work, if it's a reimbursement, they basically are going to reimburse the village. Had I known that, because that was back when we did the budget, and at the time I was asking to have this money put on the budget, but then it was, said that you don't have to because this is $75,000 was going to be part of the budget because it was coming in. It was so that's something that's, I argued about at that time that we should not do that. We should do actual because that's arbitrary. Now here we are right now. And I think what you're asking this board to do now is reimburse the people that did the grass cutting and then just wait on the money to come in, which is basically what it is. Brad, we can go back and forth, but basically I think that's what you're asking is for us to okay this $22,000 and then quite naturally we will wait on ours. To tell you the truth, I don't know if it was in the budget, fine. But the budget didn't include that. The budget included the grant, which is arbitrary, which is where we're at right now. I have no problem. I just wanted to be made aware of and everyone to understand that what we're doing, if we approve this, would be to reimburse something that at the beginning we didn't know the rules. Had we known the rules of the game, then I would have no problem. Then we would probably hash this out back then, deciding on whether or not we want to go into this particular agreement with IDA. What is it? IHDA. We wanted to go into agreement with that, but at that time we didn't get all that information. But now here we are. People have done their job and they want to get paid, which makes sense. But the business aspect of it is hard to say, but it's the truth that we cannot back each and every grant that comes along. But this is something that, they knew going in, as the mayor stated, they knew going in, but they still want to get paid. There's a lot of money that's, some people are owed $3,000 per, and that's a lot of money to have out. But, only thing I'm saying is, I hope that we learned our lesson this time, that we don't enter into an agreement without knowing and without getting the board involved, because the only thing that came before the board is we wanted to have a place to place the money when it came in. Right now, there's no money in that particular fund, so it is just a fund, it's just open. So, it's up to the, right now it's up to the board, but I'm just hoping that we learned our lesson this time. Last time, at least, I have to commend you that you are coming before the board asking for the money this time. Last time, it was paid out before the board knew anything. So I'm hoping this time that and I appreciate that you are actually coming to the board and asking for the board to make good on the promises that were done at the time.
To answer part of your question, November, when I brought it to the board, it wasn't reimbursable. It wasn't not reimbursable. It did not become reimbursable to June 15th of this year, after all the communities already started the program. That was the first change.
I didn't know that in June either. We didn't know that in June.
That was the first change.
I just found out about a week ago.
Either, and at that time, that's when I took it from there.
Okay. I mean, even with the 7,600, we didn't know. I didn't know at the time that it was reimbursable. I just found this out about a week and a half ago through a communication that the agreement was that it was a reimbursable, that we would pay up front and the grant would reimburse the village the money at the time, which we all.
I brought it to the board in November and December of last year. It was
Not really.
And I will forward you the letter from June 15th.
I didn't know June.
When it became.
Okay. I didn't know John, just like I said, I just found out, but I'm glad now, as I stated before, that you are actually asking now rather than, and it wasn't you that gave the money out. It's not you that gave the money out, that okayed the money or whatever, but I'm glad now that it's actually coming before the board to be voted on rather than pay it, and then I see a accounts payable check already been signed and sealed and delivered without the board's approval. That's all.
The only thing I'd like to say in closing, without this program this summer and the hard effort of these 20 cutters and the volunteers I had that were on the Housing Commission, I think the village would have been in a lot greater dire straits by the effort of these people cutting these 122 different lots. We reduced the rodents in those areas, we reduced the appearances, and this in conjunction with the IRID program, I think can move the village forward. I already told Ida, Derek, that, because this is a 5-year program, it's supposed to be renewed every year. And I said that they can prove to me at the board that they have everything in one shot, we're not moving forward. I would refuse. If I knew what this entailed, just to give you a slight example, we, in the reports that we have to submit monthly to IDA and stuff, have used 5 cases of paper, 15 sets of ink cartridges, and approximately $1,200 of our time, not counting the gas and time we have to go and inspect all the properties ourselves.
That's right.
I appreciate it. I just hope next time you instead of saying we got this, embrace us and say, okay, let us be part, let us know what's going on.
Well, I think the aesthetics speak for themselves.
Yeah, way to go, Gary. Yeah.
Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say, Commissioner Holt, I think that you and your commission have done an outstanding job. Just to know that you did all of those hundreds of pages in reporting, that is just phenomenal. Being an administrative assistant myself, I know how much detail had to go into that report, and I do know from past experience that when you get grants, sometimes you think that funding is coming, and in the middle of the grant it shifts. It's just disheartening. So either you just stop and drop the ball and then everybody just subside and quit, or you keep moving with the program to see it through to the end. I want to piggyback off of what Trustee Burgess is saying. I am also glad that you're coming before the mayor and the board asking for assistance before it actually happens. This time, from what I understand, being a trustee, any and all money that is spent is supposed to be pre-approved by the board of trustees. So I think all of that is a part of Sauk Village moving forward. But I do want to commend you and your commission. This has been a very tedious job, very stressful job, and all of you I've seen you in the community. I've seen all of the commissioners out there working with the cutters, and I've talked to the cutters myself. It is a great undertaking to help Sauk Village look beautiful and to move the village forward, and I'm very proud of you all of what you've done.
All right, we need $22,790.
Come up with it, Mayor.
Does anyone have any suggestions?
I got $1.
I got 20.
You gotta remember, it's, to do something like this, we have to borrow it, waiting for the money to come in and be reimbursed. Look at the board. I mean, I've got stuff written down, but I'm waiting for the board to speak up. Trustee Williams.
So, the amount of money that we owe now, plus the balance of the, the total of $75,000. When we finally do get anything, are they gonna do it in segments? Are they gonna provide the whole $75,000? Because we had talked about, well, we had talked about the possibilities of other projects. So how will the money come in, if you know?
The other projects, because as far as the housing commission program, it was over 930, so any funding left, which Debbie explained, we have to find a different project, and at that time, because of the nightmare,
Yes.
the 44,550 that's left over, I suggest that the board come up with an idea on what project we work on, which can be fire hydrants.
I was just wondering to see, like, so they will come, they will have 30, well, because that's already been submitted, that's already, I know you guys have to change some pictures or something, but the 30 plus that's already been accounted for, that will be submitted, that will come through. And then if we have any other ideas or fire hydrants projects, demolition projects, we have to recreate the entire.
Well, I don't know if they recreate it, because we're already working on fire hydrants. So I'm gonna take all the information that we're doing now and start building that case.
It's not gonna cost this. This just nightmare to item. What the mayor's talking about is if we do a demolition, the average demolition is 25 to 30,000 each. If we do the demolition with the $44,550 that's left over, if we do a project on there, you're not. Each property has to have, each project has to have its own sheet. That's why each property became its own project.
Right.
Whereas we do 1 or 2 projects, you're talking 10 or 15 sheets of paper, and I'll take video and everything else.
You still have to do it up front. That's my problem.
Yes, it would have to be paid
Once we get,
upfront.
that was my question. Okay. So, we're just looking to, because my bigger picture question was, because we started talking about these projects, are we looking for a place to remove $75,000?
No.
Or are we looking for?
$22,790. Is that what I said? Yeah, $22,790. And I would say, you know, we need to verify that fire hydrants can be used. If they can, I would start, as we were doing them now, I would start getting the photos, I would start documenting everything, because that project is ongoing. And we can submit that, and whatever funds we can get can go back into the fire hydrants, and we can continue getting more. And like I said, there's around $40,000 there. So, Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to ask, first of all, you asked, do the trustees have any suggestions about the money being paid? I want to know what are the options that we have to choose where the money can be paid from, A, and then B, I want to know if this balance that's due, is this due now because you want to pay the cutters because of all that they've done, or is there a deadline to pay it to be reimbursed by a certain deadline? Do we have to pay this now?
No. I would say they've gone too long and not being paid. Again, I've been up on all the correspondence, and they kept on saying the money was coming, they were being paid, and they came back and said they wanted something else done. You know, the housing authority did a great job getting the information they requested, came back and said, okay, the money's going to be coming, and then they came back and asked for something else. No, I'm looking to the board. Again, I've got suggestions sitting here, but I'm looking to the board to make suggestions on where we can come up with $22,790 that we can borrow until this money comes in.
That was part B of my question. What options do we have where it can come from? I don't know. All I've ever seen people do is borrow from the water fund. So I don't know where else it could come from. If there's a place else it could come from, that's what I need to know.
So we got one suggestion for wire fund. I don't know if we got that much money in the water.
I didn't suggest water fund. I said that's all I
But one suggestion.
Okay.
When you predict statewide control?
They have to do it before the second drawdown.
Which
That's
have they?
November 6th.
There's only one place that has the money.
Yeah, well, what they're supposed to do is what they do is two different things.
I want to hear from a trustee.
No, I'm gonna let you tell us. No, I didn't. The mayor knows where, there's only one place that we have money, and the mayor knows where it's at. But
No.
only problem I have with doing this, that it has to, is earmarked and it has to be put back. It was used before and it was put back. Only thing I can say is, and I do understand where you're coming from, I understand where we're coming from as far as this is concerned, because I get tired of using water fund money because people get tired of looking at it, they paid an increase, and then we're funding other things with it, which I'm glad to hear that the mayor said we're not gonna go there. So, without further ado, I'm gonna let the mayor tell you exactly. I'm not going to be quoted to say take it out of this fund. The board has to vote on it, and you guys have to think about, because you did it before, you have to vote on it again. I'm hoping, and we're hoping that you get it back because it has to be returned by a certain time once you do it.
All right,
That's all I can say.
there's only one location we have it right now. I think the water fund has it, and I wouldn't need anything from the water fund. We have the CN mitigation money there that we can borrow from. But again, we'd have to make sure that it's earmarked and the money has to be, we have borrowed money from the CN fund before, and the money has been paid back already. So the money is back to full, I can't remember, $200,000. Yeah, so we've got $232,000 in there. But it's up to the board. And I was waiting for one of the trustees to say it, but she wouldn't say it. But so I said it for him. But again, that or the board can say, we're not going to pay it. We'll wait till the money comes in. But I think since we did use village residents, and there was a lot of residents that went out there and did a great job making Sauk Village look good this last year. Waiting for their money to come in, they've been waiting for way too long now. I would encourage that hopefully you would vote in favor of borrowing this money from this fund so we can pay these. Again, village residents who live here, so they spend their money here.
Believe me, I will be monitoring. Yes, now that part said I will be monitoring it. As soon as the money comes in, I will make sure that it, I'm sure the mayor will too, because we have to. We have to do that. And Mayor, also, if you want to, maybe next week or whatever, I did talk to the clerk about applications for the mitigation funding, and also Jim Zarnick came up with something, so I don't want to bring this up and you already have a whole dissertation, but there's an application process that we need to talk about and then bring it before the people so they can know how to apply for that particular grant for the noise mitigation.
It's coming for the board in 2 weeks, right?
Don't know if we're ready to.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it will be, and then we can go from there, because there was a lot of people that came, and I did tell them to come up here, and I thought we did have applications, and come to find out we didn't have applications, and they were trying to get applications for the noise mitigation, which basically was taken care of, what was it, kind of like Carlisle, Candlelight Village. Well, no, I have to find out from Jim Zarnick. I have to find out. I'm just hoping that we can do that. So that's something, but
That's something else.
We're working on something different.
Oh, we've got the noise.
what you working?
He's working on transportation.
Okay, well, I mean, this is open, transparent. Let me know. Talk about it.
Yeah, well, just, we've got the money from CN for the noise mitigation. Transportation Board is also working on something along the CN Railroad because of the increase in trains.
Transportation.
Board. It's on South River here.
Oh, okay. guess I didn't know we had a train station, but okay.
So they are working on looking at all the communities that have CN radio,
Right.
everyone goes through, and how many it connects to. Again, you know, they're talking about walls, they're talking about some type of noise mitigation, also that they're going to be going back after CN radio. That's what I thought. Right.
Oh, no, this is something different, so, but it's nice to find out about things.
So I guess the question would be, is this something that we could put on a consent agenda or on a, what's the pleasure of the board?
Mayor, just so you won't have a problem, you won't have anybody that's at the last minute or whatever, I'd rather like to see this voted individually.
So,
Because,
new
the
business.
consent agenda just gives everyone a chance to, you know, think about it, but I don't see new business here.
That's fine. And then get the attorneys to drop a resolution. I think it's a resolution, right, or is it ordinance? Ordinance.
To approve the total amount of $22,780
$22,780.
from the
Double check on, see if we get it. We didn't do it last time.
I would check.
Double check. Next week, under new business.
Either create an ordinance to do so, or we create an ordinance. Yeah, yes, for both times, yeah.
No, that was, that's to take out of the budget, I'm talking about when we took money out before we did.
There's an ordinance that says that, that has, because we have one that's per the discretion of the mayor, as the media, blah, blah.
I didn't see that, but I haven't seen that.
That was like,
All right, anything else?
so my direction is to talk to the attorney, whatever way they suggest will be on the agenda for new business next month.
Correct. All right. Hey, just let the, Gary,
I was gonna ask you that, I'm sorry. With that money, okay, how would the check be made? Would it be electronic? No, so we take a check out of the village?
Yeah,
The checks will be made, there's no tax, nothing like that stuff.
they all got 1099.
so just let them know that Sauk Village is better than Ida, so we won't tell them that it's coming, but, and make them still wait.
You already said so.
Yeah, you have grasscutters in the audience.
You're already, they already.
Some here already.
No,
Well, they waited.
it has been, and again, I think they deserve a round of applause for all the work they did. All right, just about one of the thoughts right here. So how about moving on to the streets and government, between the Illinois Office of Comptroller and the Village of Sauk Village, and access to the Comptroller's local debt recovery program. Mr. Myers. You know both these at the same time? 6 and 7? Let's just cover 6 and 7 both at the same time.
I didn't talk out my mouth.
Hi, we discussed this way back in June. It was came up as a possible way to bring in the money that's owed to us from people that owe us fines. We discussed that link. We even figured that we decided that we were going to send it to the attorney and have them review it and draft up a ordinance to the effect. Where we can go partnership with the state controller. And at the same time, we was in the process of switching our people that collect our collection agency. And so we discussed with the new one, which is now NCSI, and they said they would be able to go on board, but we would have to produce an ordinance and a agreement. Well, we produced the ordinance and agreement, brought it up, we discussed the ordinance and agreement. It was all in favor to put on the board. There's something other that I looked back at my notes, and the mayor wanted the attorneys to look at one more time, and it never got sent back to the clerk to be put back on the board for us to vote on. So for the last few months, we've been idle. We talked to the attorneys were up and down, they had it ordinance. I checked my book, we did not pass this ordinance. We did not pass the agreement. I went to the village clerk, we spent quite a bit of time to review it. We went to our finance director. He has been in contact with the director, director of MCSI, and he said, we're just waiting for you guys to come up and we're all set and ready to go. There's a few things that have to be done. Mohan seems to think that there's quite a bit of money out there, a lot of money, not just 1 or 200, I don't want 2,000 out there. And this goes as far back as the previous administration. People still haven't paid us, and to the present administration, and we have fines coming in, and there's people that owes the village on fines $15,000, $20,000 because they have never paid. Some of the towing fines, some of the a lot of other fines. So, with the help of the village clerk, we and the attorneys, did we send a copy of the ordinance out there, by the way? You received the copy of the ordinance, and you received a copy of the agreement. Mr. Mayor, at this time before it gets lost or shuffled around again, I'm requesting that both these be put on the agenda for passing next week.
Do you have any questions?
Yes, I do have just one question. Does this entitle Cook County to go after, on our behalf, the residents or whoever it is? I guess it would have to be a person that's in Cook County, because Cook County is going after that person. Would it take money from, because I've heard there's programs in Chicago when you getting your taxes back and things like that they would take that. This is what this program is about.
There's two parts of this program. Yes, you're right, it's part of that program. It's been working good in other communities that run with it. The other part to it, if the village deemed necessary, second part of this, they can also petition the Secretary of State and have her driving privilege.
Okay. So okay. That's what I was wanted to find out. So this is exactly what you had talked about before, that we can actually go after their return.
Yes, sir.
And we can actually go after their driver's privileges.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Of course, they have to have a return first.
I'm not going to go. If you don't have a return, I'm sure that it's going to be a debt. If you owe money, it's going to be added onto it.
Debbie, you recall anything else? I think I covered everything briefly.
What we were saying, so the important thing to remember is that other communities might be going after those same people.
Right.
So the best thing is, first off, serve, get your bid in early, and we're coming to the tail end of this year's program, but we want to be ready to go next year's program.
The good part about that is that the person that owes us the money, if they do reside in our town, we get the first bid.
Correct.
I
just wanted you to more or less, I seen that, Madam Clerk, I just wanted to be in the record that the people can understand exactly what it is that you were referring to. That's all. That's the only reason why I asked. I read it, yes, I did. But I was waiting for you to finish it so you can just let everyone know for the record that that's what you're going after. You're going after their returns, and you're going after their driver's license if they don't comply.
That's correct.
That's all. That's right.
And we worked out there's a couple more things we have to work out with the director of MCIS. There's a couple of things we have to work out with them, but I know Sherry, we get it all squared away, and if we can't do anything else until two documents are approved by us. So, and just let you know, Mohawk's looking at over $125,000 proposal.
We can get
There's
it.
probably more to go, but the mayor also mentioned that that's now, but what about the last administration? I had no idea what that figure was.
They collect a lot of money every year now because of that. So.
Yeah. The town that I talked to, the controller has a way of collecting the money. Yeah. So, so once again, I request that we put on the agenda. Thank you.
What's the pleasure of the board? Consent agenda? All right, consent. All right, vote time number 8, authorize the village attorney to settle the 2007 and 2008 tax rate objection cases at a rate of .007. Commissioner has a letter in front of him. Anybody have any questions?
The total amount that would be out, I see that there are different amounts, but what is the total? 100, is it 167?
The village's 2007 EAV is $37,481.80. I'm sorry, $37,481,843 for years used. Again, they want to, what is it? They want to do the objection cases at 0.007. The second page is
What is it, 163,000?
Potential loss of approximately.
163,000.
155,000. And it breaks it down for everything though. You got your ambulance fund and liability insurance fund, total potential loss to the village of approximately 155,000. The village is 2008, we're at 41 million, so you got potential of 163,000 lost from 2008.
Now, who we negotiate, who we sold this with, the state?
People who objected.
Anybody in the
Objected their rates.
So now, what happens after this last one, you just got to,
Oh, this is only 2007.
right, 2008, so I'm pretty
So
sure.
next is
Yes,
2009,
yes.
2010.
Now, is this money we pay back to state? Or this money they're not gonna give us?
I don't know yet on that one. I think they're probably going to short us
Right, that's
that much.
the difference, okay? Because I'm sure we don't have money to pay them,
They're
but
gonna pay, so there's, when they go to pay us,
they're short of that amount.
that's if we get it at the rate of .007.
Because as we go forth, yes, there's levies every 3 years, so this is 8, so the next one will be 11, and this one here is 14, so this is just 8. So that everyone understands that's something that, we don't have control over, and this is money that we probably won't realize in the next, if this is done, it'll probably take a year, so this time next year, when we get our money, we may be short that amount of money for our taxes. Our tax money coming to the village.
About $250,000.
Yeah.
A little over $250,000.
So that's money that's
200,
gonna be-
300, it's about 300 some thousand
Right.
for people objecting their tax rates. So this is only 2007, 2008, so it should be interesting. As years go along, how much more the village is going to lose. So, less to work with. More to do. And they're still paying the same amount. So. Senator, you don't have a problem? For the attorney to negotiate? Yeah. All right. Now, item 9, public comment. All questions or comments are directed to the mayor. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to comment on topics of their choice. Each speaker will be allowed 1 opportunity to speak. You have some? Okay, just grab the mic. There you go. Sorry. Anyone has anything? Steve Shipkus has got the mic. Thank you very much.
Judy Cast here. First of all, I'd like to make a comment. On these types of meetings, it's common that the washrooms are not open for the ladies in the hall.
Which one?
This one right here.
It's right around the corner, by the seniors. That one's always open.
Yeah, well, that takes 2 miles to get there.
Okay, this one.
Secondly, transparency. Talking about the grass cutting and how that was handled. First of all, in the beginning, it was stated that this is something that is not the village board issue, that this was being handled strictly by Commissioner Holcomb. I have a few questions. Number one, everybody that was involved was supposed to have a background check. I'd like to know if that was a cost factor to have that done. Secondly, everybody was supposed to have a valid driver's license, and not everybody had a valid driver's license. Thirdly, you have one of the people that were working on the project that Mr. Holcomb said would be for the village, for people within the village to make some extra money for themselves. You have people that did not live in Sauk Village. Thirdly, you had, I'm not by any means saying that what they did was not worthy. They did an excellent job. But right from the get-go, this thing was not handled properly. There were things that were done that could create issues with the village and the village board, such as a business person being on that committee or, involved in grass cutting. And yet, bids did not go out for business. That being said, I also would like to know, Mr. Mayor, transparency-wise, why we have a trustee sitting that is no longer on the beautification committee, and yet nothing has been said about it. Now, we watched Trustee Morton and his wife and his stepdaughters out there cleaning up, working diligently, trying to move the village forward, and all of a sudden he's sitting there with no committee whatsoever, and you've taken over the beautification committee. I'd like to know why. I'd like to know what the intentions are for Mr. Holcomb, or is he going to sit there like the previous trustee did for a full term? I think that's it for my question.
All right. Well, as for the grass cutting, first of all, the bathrooms, we've always made sure that the bathrooms over in the hallway over there are open. I'll see if we can get someone to open these up over here, but there is bathrooms available, so I just want people to think that there's not. There is bathrooms. The grass cutting, and everyone who sat through those meetings, they understand, and the grass cutting went through the housing authority. It did not go through the village. But as a village, this board can sit here and say, tough luck, housing authority, it's your job. Or we can step up to the plate and say, you know what, we'll borrow some money from somewhere, pay the majority of these people, who are the majority of them are probably village residents, that did a fantastic job working all summer, worked hard to make sure our village could turn around. So we borrow money and we can pay. Which I have no problem, because I have no doubt, I mean, I've been involved with the South Florida Mayor's Managers, I've been contacting them also. The money is going to come. It's just this program is so new, there's so many changes that's happened, it's just delayed. And it's government. It's government at the highest in Cook County. That's all I can say. Everything gets delayed. So, do I have a problem paying these grass cutters? I don't have a problem at all. And now I would have a problem if we didn't have the money we could borrow from somewhere. Then I would go back to housing authority and say we have a problem because we have nowhere to borrow it. But there is a spot we can borrow money from, and we know we're going to get paid. I've got no problem with that. As for the trustee on the beautification committee, I did not remove him. Trustee Morton is sitting here. Trustee Morton asked if he could resign from it. And you're right, I have pretty much, I'm going to call it taken it over, but I've been the liaison between the beautification committee and this board. And so that there's some type of flow between there and trying to work with the individuals who are on that committee. The trustee has asked if he could look around and come back to the board with some suggestions on something. He's got some ideas on what he wants to do. So when he comes back and says, here's what I have, I'll review it, and we'll come back and review it with the board. But I did not remove, and Trustee Morton, you're sitting right here, did I remove you from your committee? I did not. I can tell you, Ms. Cass, I've got enough on my plate already. This is one more thing I've got. So this is one more night a month that my family doesn't see me, okay? But I have no problem doing it, because I tell you, we've got some fantastic workers out there that are busting their hind ends to try to make Sauk Village look good. So I've got no problem doing that and stepping up to the plate. I am working with the committee, and I would like to see someone inside the committee become one of the chairs. And I can still be a liaison, but a little bit further away, because they are capable people on that committee to run that committee. I don't need to sit there and direct them. They know what to do, they know how to do it, they know a lot better than I do. The last meeting I said that, they looked at pictures and pointed at flowers and named them off. I looked at them and had no idea what they were talking about, so I have to be honest with you. But I just want to make sure I make that clear. I did not remove Trustee Morton, and Trustee Morton will be coming back with something that he wants to do. So, next, anyone else? Yes, ma'am. Thanks, Steve.
I'm just an old resident of Sauk Village, many, many years ago, before this ever became.
Can't hear you, man. Hold the mic up.
Oh, I'm not used to this. But anyhow, I was, oh, I'm Mary Forbes, but I was Mary Kloss.
Okay.
Okay, do you know the name Kloss?
Yes.
Okay. I was supposed to do this a long time ago to ask if we could have a block or a street named for Kloss. And this
Long overdue.
long overdue. A priest was going to help me years ago, and then I moved to Kentucky, so we got lost on the way home. So I'm here now to ask if we could, I don't know what you go and do about it.
I can tell you, if you have any information, turn it over to Trustee Williams. She's in charge of the Public Relations Committee. Her committee is the one that makes the recommendations for street naming. There is a policy in place when it comes to naming a street after someone. So she'll take a look at everything you have, and their committee will make a recommendation. Thank you very much. All right. All right, thank you. Rose?
Rose Langston. I do want to compliment the Housing Commission. I think they did a fantastic job. I wouldn't want to have to put up with thousands of pages that goes into it. I know I have a few meetings, and I know the cost, he's probably eating up all of it. And I think they're doing a wonderful job. I do have a little concern that we have a house on 22453 Yates. I believe this was an eviction last Thursday. All the household furniture is at the curbside. I know I talked to Kevin, and he said Public Works only usually remove a few things. He said, but that takes over a dumpster. I don't know, what stage the village is working on to locate the owner, to have that taken care of. But it is definitely an eyesore. And I do want to remind people that Saturday is our 11th annual spaghetti dinner. If you haven't gotten your tickets, I do have the advance tickets, and so does some of the committee members sitting in the audience. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I do have to get Kevin on the house on Yates, because I went by that yesterday. It's going to take more than a dumpster to get rid of all that, so I will have to get with Kevin and see what we can do. And I'll get with Sherry too, see if she knows who the homeowner is. What's that? It is 22453 Gates. You can't miss it. They stacked it pretty neatly, though. At least it's not all over the yard. They stacked it very neatly out there on the curb. So, all righty. Next.
I'm wondering,
It's me,
Good.
Bernadine Hopkins, Sauk Village resident. This is regarding this paper that you have over there on the table, the Sauk Village water supply contamination issue or whatever. Well, I read on here that the agreement is that well number 3 is not supposed to be used, but if I recall correctly, at a previous meeting, when well, I guess 1 and 2 are supposed to be being repaired, I thought it was said that well 3 will be what we will be using, and I'd like to know if that's correct. And if we're not supposed to be using it, how could you be using it? You know what I'm trying to say here? I'm concerned. The other thing is I'd like to know, I understand that one of the trustees, they were going to have some kind of party for the teenagers or whatever, something like that. I'd like to know what's happening with that, and I'd like to support it if I could. And that's pretty much it.
All right, thank you very much. Well number 3, there's a process that has to go through. Again, the IEPA Attorney General has been very much involved with the permanent air strippers and removal systems. So what ends up happening is well number 3 has not been in service since 2009, but all the work's being done. Once all the work is done, which we've already started doing all the testing, making sure everything is in working condition, everything gets resubmitted back to the IEPA. They have to review everything and give us the okay to go ahead and start that well back up again. Once we have the okay, that well will go back into service once they've approved everything. So the well numbers 1 and 2 can be taken down and all the new equipment can be placed on those. So, but nothing gets done into the IEPA, and pretty much the Attorney General gives us the okay. So they, Kevin, he's already gone now, but Kevin works closely with them, provides all test results, he goes over everything that's being done. Then the IEPA comes out every so often to take a look at the status of the work that's being done, where we're at, making sure everything is where it's supposed to be. So, but again, nothing's going to happen until we get the okay. Anything else? Oh, sure. So you have to get with Trustee Washington, maybe get with her after the meeting, and you can give her all the information. And so we appreciate you getting involved. Thank you very much. You go ahead, you want to say something?
I just want to say to the entire audience, the Human Relations Commission was planning a pre-Thanksgiving Day dance. We had to ask volunteers in the community and in the schools to help to supervise that. We did have a meeting on last night in regard to that dance, and it's been postponed and possibly, I don't know, the status where it's going to be. Where's Commissioner Frank Williams? Okay, he's the Vice President for the Human Relations Commission, and you can talk to him when it's over, he can let you know. But as far as I know, that dance is pending and possibly canceled.
All right, thank you very much. Anything else? See anyone moving around? All right, so we go to Trustee Williams. Nothing? Go to Trustee Burgess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a couple of things. First of all, I'd like to invite everybody to the next town hall meeting, which will be week from Wednesday, October 15th, at Rickover, at the same place that we usually have it, from 7 to 8:30. And also, CETA is putting on a home energy bill payment assistance program here at Sauk Village. It'll be at the senior citizen site. I have to get with Rose and we work out the particulars. This is what they do every year. Some of the criteria, quite naturally, would be income. I do have sheets that are showing that what the family size, and I think the highest would be $5,000 a month. with a family of 8, and for ComEd, it would be $8,000 a month with a family of 8. Those are some of the income requirements. So, but I do have pamphlets in the back and sheets in the back. Again, October 23rd, from 9 to 1 here at the Village Hall. And Thursday, we will have our intergovernmental relations meeting here at the Village Hall at 7 o'clock. Thank you.
I'm sorry, trustee, you got it. Give it to trustee Irish.
It's been a long day for the mayor, so I understand. Debbie, I was had the privilege meeting a gentleman from Bloom Township here last week. Now, he's going to be here every week for the residents, if they have any problems or concerns that need to take.
11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Bloom Township at the satellite office at Sauk, so we can do just about everything we can get done at the township. But they will be here every Thursday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thank you very much.
The other thing is, I will be out of town at the next meeting, and I'm going, did we ever figure out if I have enough time to have that meeting tomorrow night? Okay. Then I will probably not have it. Yeah. I'm going to have it, but I won't have enough time to do it tomorrow. There's not enough time and space. Yeah. I'll give it you one. I'll set it up later on. The other one is, like I said, I'm going to, last part of the month, I'll be going down to the University of Illinois again. I sit on the board of directors there, and there's a lot of new rules that the state has came down to change over some of our certification on the fire service. So, and I will, Chief Paul won't be down there. I will bring everything back and show them what we'll need. These will be the new mandate that is coming down from the university and state fire marshal's office. And they have adopted the new code, life safety code will be the state code, life safety code 2000 will be the state code for the Illinois fire marshal's office. With that, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna get check my schedule tight, and then I'll give you a call tomorrow, or send you an email, and I'm doing this last part of this month. I'm either flying, moving, driving, somewhere all over. I can move into it once if I have it. Right. So I'm trying to work that out. Okay. But the other two orders are down in front of us, but we just never got put. That's in our basket. Well, that one's already been through on board. Remember, it went back in June to discuss. Oh. Yes, yes. I will definitely have it through there by that time. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just two quick announcements. First of all, I want to remind everyone that we will be having our monthly Neighborhood Watch program meeting this coming Monday at the fire station at 6:30. Piggybacking off of our program last month where we gave away the book bags. We had 35 new block club captains that were sworn in on that night. We're looking forward to a lot of new block club captains coming to the meeting. If you want to be a block club captain, or if you know someone on your block where you live that served as a block club captain and may not have never come to a block club meeting, if you can remind them that we will be meeting this coming Monday at 6:30 at the fire station. And secondly, I want to say that I had the pleasure of attending the first service for United Grace Church. Grace United Church with Pastor Melody Seaton on Sunday, opening up for their first service. And it was very spiritual and very enlightening, and the songs that they sang were very inspirational, and I saw so many people there that I knew in the community, and I was just really excited to be there, to be a part of their very first service. Heard a lot of good things that they want to do in the community, in their prayers, as well as different ones of them getting up speaking. They kept reiterating that they are praying for Sauk Village, that they are praying for the community, that the pastor and the church want to get involved in the community. And I was very happy to hear that. When I spoke to the pastor afterwards, I certainly encouraged them to come on Tuesday nights and to see what's going on in the village and to let them know about the alerts. I was glad to be able to sit next to the village clerk at the service, and we worshiped together, and I saw Trustee Burgess there, and the mayor was there, so the village board was represented well at their first service. The pastor is very nice, and she just wants everyone to know that they want to invite you to come on Sundays for the 11 o'clock service. Again, I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed being with residents in Sauk Village in a different setting, and I'm just so glad to have that church here. And that concludes my report.
Trustee Martin.
No.
Trustee Hassel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple real quick reminders. We're going to have the trunk and treat on October 25th at noon at the community center. There will be drawings for pumpkins, and we also will have a parade, which will start at Rickover. It's a costume parade. They'll come down Torrance to there. I hope to see a lot of residents out with their cars, decorated or not, and it will be a good time for the kids. So if you can make time for that, come on out for that. And then for our first attempt, we're going to try to have our first flea market craft show at the community center on November 8th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're looking for people to rent tables, to bring their stuff out to sell. I have a limited number of tables, there's a limited number of space, so if you're interested, please contact me. I have already talked to several groups that are considering coming out, including the Sauk Village ROTC, or the Blue Trail ROTC. It's going to do a bake table, so we're looking forward to that. It's going to be a good time, and it's going to be a starting point for us, as I plan to have this at least annually, if not semi-annually, Easter and a Thanksgiving one. So we'll see how it turns out. Oh, tables are $10. Thank you. It's $10 per space. I don't care how many tables, but I only have limited tables, so if you have tables, bring your own tables. Okay. And as a reminder, I have been asked this on the Halloween thing. You bring your own candy. There's a couple of times I've been asked already, are you providing candy? No, I'm not. You bring your own candy, please. Thank you.
All righty, I have my own. Just remind everyone, this week is Fire Prevention Week, so October 5th to the 11th. So I thought you were going to mention it, but sorry to steal your thunder. But,
this week, part of Fire Prevention Week.
All right, now you hear me. Okay. So this week, the Fire Prevention Week, we're going to the public schools. We're talking to the elementary, and we're going to hit the junior high school and do a presentation to them. There will be an open house on Saturday from probably 1 to 4. The fire department is going to do a live burn. It's going to demonstrate how quickly a room can be full of deadly smoke and fire and so forth. There will be other exhibits around the entire station. We'll have other activities going on. There will be a couple demonstrations of the individual pools. Let's see, I think that's about it. Then I know that McDonald's is coming on board with us, and so is the Advanced Olives coming on board with us. They're supporting Fire Prevention Week 100%. So they will have represented over at the fire station. So we invite each and every one of you to tell your friends, bring the kids all over, and we have some fun. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I tell you, United Way, Advance Auto, they came on board with the ribbon cutting ceremony. They had the check for United Way, and they want to get involved in the community. So we've got a new business that's getting involved. Come out and meet some of the, I think you might have one of the managers out there at the fire station. Come out and meet one of the managers on Saturday. After you go to the fire station, make sure you come over here to the senior center and get some spaghetti. Buy your tickets before Saturday, get them for $5, right, Rose? You buy them at the door, you're going to pay $1 extra. But you know what? It's worth it. It's some good spaghetti. All you can eat. So, but I tell you, they do a good job every year. In fact, last year we had so many people, or they had so many people, the seniors put it on. They were all the way out to the hallways, and people were eating out here. So and there's people outside waiting to get in. So it's every year it gets seems like more and more people come out. So but we have a lot of things going on Saturday. So keep your eye out. Look for alerts. If you're not on the Sauk LG alert, make sure you jump on it. Make sure you find out what's going on. Last thing I have is Congresswoman Kelly is having a hiring event. You know, anyone's looking for a job. It's her second annual hiring event. It's going to be Friday, October 24th. It's from 9 a.m. to 12, and it's to be held at South Suburban College Gymnasium. And that's in South Holland. So if you know anyone's looking for a job, anyone needs a job, they have a lot of businesses and things out there for this hiring event, so they're looking to hire people. All right, with that said, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn. Motion second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any adjourned?